It's time for Aaron Butler, everybody. Let's get stuck in. Aaron Butler, sir.
Is this the Zoom where it happens?
I'm fucked off. I didn't think of that. I'm not going to lie to you, but I appreciate your intelligence there.
You've no idea how much I've been holding this in all day. I've been just waiting. Yeah, like a little ball of kinetic energy just ready to go. Like.
Yeah. How are you? Anyway, welcome back to the podcast. I'm acting as if we haven't seen each other in eons, but it was like last week.
Yeah, true. Is this the special branch? Is this what we're on? Yeah, or the extra branch? What do you call it?
The extra branch. To an extent, it's almost as much as it is an extra branch episode, as much as it is an apology for Mark McCartney's podcast, because the worst internet connection in the world. Like I did one with Jordy Robinson just before you, and twice it kind of froze a wee bit, and he apologized, and I was like, it's fine, because I was on a podcast with Mark McCartney. Like, the only way is up, baby, you and me.
Yeah. I don't think Mark has like internet in wherever he is in the world. I don't think it's reached down there yet. I think it was just connected into his landline.
It's AOL, so it is. AOL.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's a free trial disc. It's like an ICQ, something like that. It's really, really old school.
It's particularly where he is. God knows what everyone. It's like, Seamus, that's a dongle.
Yeah. They just had the millennium there like last week, I think.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, when I did the thing with McCartney, I think he was just a bit mentally preoccupied because he was worrying about the Chilean miners.
Yeah, here, wait till he gets to 9/11.
Oh, fuck. See when he finds out Janet Devlin didn't win the X Factor? Oh, pandemonium.
I thought you were going to say when he finds out Janet Jackson let her tit out at the Super Bowl, because that was equally as a great event as Janet Devlin not winning the X Factor.
My favourite thing about Janet Devlin, the only reason I even thought of it in the last couple of years was she has a sort of mutual friend of a friend. So we were both in the same house party a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow.
And the only thing I remember about her is that obviously she was on the X Factor and she sort of famously forgot the lyrics to Bop. So she was like, I couldn't remember how it went, and I was like, well, even just you pondering what the lyrics were, you got 50% of it, because you're like, I don't know the lyrics. You're like, you've done half of it.
You know? Yeah, just say Bob. Yeah. You're
just
home free
that.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, I was funny. I was actually watching a bit of the McCartney podcast today, but I only got like 15 minutes in, so everything was great up until then.
Yeah, it's like he apologized at the end of the episode. And to be honest, it's my fault, because Willie T had warned me. He was like, if you ever do one with McCartney, make it 3 hours so you can synthesize it down to 40 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, and it's one of those, like, flipping, I would hate to live in a part of the country that, like, it's weird. It's so like scumbaggy to say, or it's so like, you know, putting your nose up at something, but it's like, I just like good internet, you know.
You just love a decent connection. Well, considering, like, I know he doesn't do.
Yeah, I just love the fiber optics.
So I do. But here's the thing: like, he obviously he's not in the same line of work as you, but he does make videos and put them online. So how long must it take for him to edit and render the videos that he does? Because I know they're longer videos than most, but fuck me, I think he did Parish Unknown 3 years ago before he was even doing stand-up. And just fucking, that's it rendered now.
Yeah, he was making the Christmas episode 2 Halloweens ago.
Just see his fucking Millennium New Year episode.
Spot on, yeah. He must like drive up to Belfast or something just to upload stuff, you know.
Yeah, just use a self-scan till and then go back to where he's from and regale people and be like, there's nobody there. You just beep and it does. Oh Jesus! I went to get hand sanitizer and it came out. It just came out when my hands were near it.
Yeah, didn't even have to push the wee dispenser down. Mad.
Didn't even have
it's witchcraft.
I tell you what,
yeah.
I've just noticed that that's a Hamilton background, by the way. Apologies for not twigging sooner, because I know you put effort into that.
Oh, why do you think I said Zoom where it happened right away?
I don't know. It was
That's
more your
like I'm on so many levels. Would say I'm on so many. I'm operating.
yeah. You're a layered Zoom guest, aren't you? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Did you think I was in a hall somewhere?
yeah. I thought you were
do,
just
you,
at the back of Thompson's. Just
do you think I snuck into the Grand Opera House refurbishment and was just like, shh, fucking
Aaron's
doing a wee
videos.
Zoom
Excuse
here,
me.
Woodsy?
What the fuck?
Yeah, the no. This is the if you haven't already seen, I'll just give the wee people a wee look there. That's the Hamilton background.
Yeah. So it is. I was actually thinking that there was a possibility for this that you were going to be in your makeshift, not even makeshift bar shed emporium palace. That unbelievable, sir.
There,
Unbelievable.
there it is. You know, that's a part of it. You can probably see there. It says Joe's Tavern. That's
Yeah.
because my dad's named Joe, and that says, "Hold on, I'll get back on stage here." That's because yeah,
Stage left.
that's his. This is his little sanctuary, really, but it's
Yeah.
mine too.
But your dad's a doorman at bars, isn't he? So it's weird that he, in his recreational time, likes to spend time in a bar because that's like me just licking my own windows in the house. Do you know what I mean? That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like if you, I don't know if it's like you like Disney World and then you come home and your dad's like dressed as Mickey Mouse or something. You know what I mean? Which for you, which if it was your dad, be pretty funny. The
Post Pat as Mickey Mouse.
yeah, I'd pay to see that one. I mean, dress him up for Halloween. He's had a stroke, so I'm sure he can't really say no.
Exactly, he can't say no to anything at the minute.
Just hates it.
I can't say no to this. I just can't say no to this.
Why do you not want to? No, because I have a stroke.
Well, to be fair, with the drippy mouth, he already kind of sounds like Daffy Duck anyway, so he's halfway there. God bless him.
Quack quack. Yeah, but no. So like, yeah, he used to be a doorman, but he's not now. He's retired. He's a retired doorman. He retired during COVID. He's like, that's enough. I've had
That's him done. So he was like,
I mean,
is he delighted with COVID then? Do you think?
I mean, he was. When it first happened, he was almost a wee bit huffy because he was like, "Oh, because he loves work and stuff, and he loves getting out and about." And he was like, "Oh, I don't want to stop working." Blah blah blah. Weird guy, like. And then he like got used to not working, and then when he had to go back there 2 weeks ago, he's raging. He hates work now, so he wants. He's like he's one of these people. He's like refusing to wear a mask because he wants COVID to happen again. Like he wants a second lockdown so he can just get more time off work, the wee bastard.
Yeah, he loves a sequel, doesn't he? The Big Joe, he's just fucking.
Yeah, Back to the Future 2, COVID 20, like just all the best ones, really.
COVID 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, COVID 2, the college years.
Your dad's the Van Wilder of doorman.
Yeah, Yeah. I remember years ago I wanted to write a sketch called Saving Private Ryan 2, the college years, and it was just about like Private Ryan going to college, and it would all be like puns about him at war, but then like he's like down in beers and stuff. It was all crazy shit. Yeah. It's like Van Wilder. But I don't know, I maybe still do it one day, but I just thought it'd be, in fact I won't do it because it's too dated and I Saving Private Ryan. But I just still like the idea.
Yeah. Do you reckon if Ryan maybe wasn't as private, they would have found him quicker? Because even like in his college days, you've called him Private Ryan. Just going, what's he up to? I've no fucking idea what he's at. He's in his room all day.
He just stays in Elms. He's just fucking flat out there. So he is. Do you remember Elms? Did you live in Elms?
I did live in Elms. Yeah. Wasn't Find Me the Funny? Some of that was in Elms. Did you tell me that?
Yeah, they put us up in Elms over the summer, which made no sense because I lived in Belfast anyway. But they were like, "Look, do you want to live here?" And I was like, "Yes, it's awful bothersome for me to travel to the Lisburn Road every day from Boucher. I would prefer to stay in Elms." So yeah, that's when I got to meet like the true Mickey Bartlett, I call it. Where like, you know when like you meet Mickey for the first time, and it's not the real Mickey because he's like very nice, polite. Like he's a nice, polite guy anyway. But like you don't meet the like drinking side of him. You don't meet the side of him that just loves to party, and that's where I got introduced to him.
Oh, Pint Mickey. Oh, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah. Man. It's a Jekyll and Hyde situation.
Really is. And do you know what's a real Jekyll and Hyde situation? Pint Haggerty.
Pint Haggerty. I met Pint Haggerty once. In that,
oh yeah, me too.
we were drinking at a gig in Collins, and Maureen's parents. We did a gig in their house, not in their parents, obviously, and open
Weird.
spot, and so we did that, and
G-spot?
he had drove me to the gig, him and Diona, and they got blocked, slept in their car, and then drove off the next morning and left me.
They slept in their car?
Apparently so, yeah. They must have sobered up for a few hours and then drove on. And you're like, just go to bed.
Yeah, it's a weird. I've never slept in a car. Have you slept in a car?
No, I've like. Do you mean like overnight, or you mean like en route somewhere?
Well, here's I tell a lie, right? I have slept in a car once, but it was weird circumstances. I was
because you were driving.
yeah. Well, yeah. So wait to hear this. I was 18. I was 18, and I was out on like a shooting night out, and my dad made a joke going, "Now, if you're not home by 2, I'm locking that door, and you're not getting into the house." And I was like, "Yeah,
always
I'll be home by." Yeah. Now he said it as a joke, but he also said it kind of serious, and I was like, "Yeah, whatever." So I like drive out. I'm like out partying, flipping university, whatever. It's all good. It's like 2:30, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I gotta go." My dad wants me home by 2 or whatever. I put my key in the door, and he's left his key in the other side of the door, so I can't like open the door. And I'm like, but because of what he said earlier that night, I thought, "Ah, fuck, I fucked it." Like he was being serious. Like he genuinely locked me out of the house. and so I put my car in my own driveway, get in the back seat of my Peugeot 106. Now, I had a coat that I used as a blanket, and I had no pillows, but I did have, for some reason, a packet of water balloons in the back seat. So I blew them up and used them as a pillow. And then it got to like 5 a.m, and my phone started going. My mum went, "Where are you?" And I went, "I'm sleeping outside the front." And she goes, "Why?" I went, "You locked me in." And she goes, "Oh, fuck," and fucking ran down the stairs. Like, Dad he didn't mean to leave his key in the door, but he did leave it in the door.
Yeah.
And then he got an absolute bollock in the next day. I came in like a little refugee, balloons in my head, fucking wee blanket. I was like, "I'm so sorry for staying out."
I suppose you never
So that's the only time.
You never had to sort of pretend that you weren't drinking. The way a lot of people come back to their house when they're from partying, be like, no, I didn't even have that much, but they're fully blocked. You didn't have the equivalent of that. I'm just realizing now.
Yeah, I've missed out on the experience of sort of being sly and sort of tiptoeing in and pretending, that whole like, "Shh, no, it's all good." You know what I mean? Like I've never had to like stop making noise in the house because I'm drunk or whatever. You know, like drunk people do that where they're making loads of noise, but they think they're not making that much.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if I've missed out on that or if it's just whatever.
Yeah. I suppose you were type to maybe come in at like 2 a.m, just the same old you. So they just kick the door open and be like, "A whole new world."
Yeah, come and Greece is the world. Just pretty much back to Pint Haggerty. Pint Haggerty I met in Elms, and was for some reason his voice went up like 2 octaves. He would go like, "Iron." And he would be real weird and stuff like that. But he got drunk very easy, like 2 tins, and this guy was gone. And I mean, like people say 2 tins, but really it was more than 2 tins. This guy was legitimately drunk on 2 tins of cider.
Yeah, I wonder why. Is he just not a big pinter? So when he does, it just knocks the stuffing out of him.
And you wouldn't think it because he's not exactly like a skinny fella or like wee frail pube of a man like myself. Yeah. So like he like you would think he'd be able to take a few drinks, but 2 tins and this guy was blasted. I couldn't believe it. It was so quick too. It happened in like 15 minutes and I was in bed by like 9.
Yeah, you wonder why people who have that tolerance for drink even bother. Because like if you go out to say Cathedral Quarter and you're like, "Oh, I only had 2 pints of cider," that's still about £13. You're like, you could have got all the meats in your bosom for that fucking price there, bro, instead of just going, "I had 2 ciders."
I like how you measure currency in meats of bosom.
To be fair, I had bosom last week for the first time in about a year. Even though I talk about bosom a lot on stage because I'm a hack, basically. I'm a hacky hack.
You know what I mean? Yeah, bosom and pesto.
Yeah, hack Whitehall. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Hack black.
Hack black.
Hack Nicholson. They're just
Hackney
anybody
Charlton.
called Jack. Yeah. Hex Sparrow. The oh dear, bad times.
Michael
But
Haxon.
I. That's good. But no. So yeah, you. What do you think of Bruges? Like, are you a big fan, or like, was there a reason you haven't been to it in so long?
Very salty the last couple of times. I don't know.
Are you?
Like, if you maybe this is my shite theory on it. This could be bullshit, but you might be able to sort of testify. Do you know when you have like a decent period of eating sort of semi-clean, working out, blah blah blah, doing you got a good couple of months behind you, then you break it off and you get like a chippy Indian or something out there. Do you not find you're more aware of how much fucking salt is in things? So the last couple of times I've had Boojum as like a treat, like a cheat meal, I was just so aware of how fucking like salty it was, like it immediately when you tasted it. And I know a lot of people who go a lot of the time who went, I don't think the recipes have changed. So I'd like, do you have anything like that? Is that bullshit, do you think?
Don't know if it's salt or just general takeout food sort of feeling. Like, it depends. Like, what was in the burrito? Like, what meat and stuff did you get? It all depends.
Well, I got the burrito bowl because it's healthier. So
chicken, what's the meat?
Chicken, the Mexican rice, which is not good for you at all. I'm aware of that. Pinto beans, cheese, sour cream, and chipotle. I don't get any salsa or anything. That's Woodsy's.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, it sounds like a pretty, your pretty average choice. So I don't know. Maybe they are just salt and food more. But I think like I notice whenever I have like a good sort of diet going, and then I break it to have like pizza or a McDonald's or whatever it is, my stomach just feels awful after. Like I just feel like after like 15 minutes of eating it, I'm like, I hate myself.
Oh yeah, for sure. It must be that thing where like when you're eating clean or cleanish anyway, your body must be just being like, happy fucking days, I'm getting the good shit. And then to go from that, and then suddenly you're pumping in fucking mozzarella sticks or some shit, and they're like, are you for real? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's a lot to do with the amount too. Like when you think of like a pizza on its own, like that's literally 12 inches of fucking, not just bread, melted cheese, whatever toppings are on it. Like your stomach must just look and go, really? What are you doing up there?
Yeah. I love how you describe the pizza the same way you describe your dick on Tinder. 12 inches, lots of bread, cheese, and covered in toppings.
Cheese. Toppings is the name of the bird.
I guarantee, like, if I found out that you put glitter on your dick, I would be like, yeah.
Sequins. An LED strip light.
But you just bedazzled it. You know what I mean? Just fucking like your jeans or some shit.
It's like, do you remember those shoes you used to wear as a kid that lit up whenever you stepped on them?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember
that. That's my dick.
So it is. I remember
just
the last time I saw shoes like that was legit in Strabane in the Melmount Centre when I was a kid. They used to have the under 14s discos and foam parties and all that shit. And the lights had broke, so they just paid a few kids to wear those shoes and run about. I swear to God, because they were like, "Oh, we need some like sort of lights," so they just paid these guys. But like, we've got these shoes, fire them on your feet, and just run about like a fucking arsehole for an hour and a half during Limp Bizkit, Love Inc., and the Baha Man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very Strabane thing. I can imagine that happening. Like, it sounds pretty. I still have a pair of those shoes. To be fair, like for like adults.
Do they make them for adults?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, bro.
Oh yeah, I'll wear them to the next gig.
That'd be class if you just never acknowledged that you were wearing them, and you had like a really physical set, and just never acknowledged the fact that there were strobe lights on your feet.
Well, what's funny? Yeah, you have to do an epilepsy warning before the show. The someone in the front row is just fucking out of it. They come with like a little remote like this, so like you could be on stage and like for your closer or whatever, you could like finish it on like you just click it and fucking your shoes just light up as you leave the stage. People be like, his set was shite, but the way he left was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, they would sort of describe you like a very, very poor Prodigy live show where they're like, oh, they were shite, but the light show was incredible.
Yeah. The night parade he did was fucking unbelievable. But yeah, apart from that, it's all good.
You could do it where you're like in your set and just be like, I was very angry, and then they turn red.
You can do that, yeah. You could do emotions with them. Although that would probably get old after like you start talking about, oh, it was green with envy, and you're just fucking doing all sorts of stuff. Oh, you know what I mean? I mean, I could barely breathe, and they're purple. You're like, oh.
People ask me what religion I am, and it turns orange.
Oh, that's great.
It's actually like it's like in Hamilton where he's like, I'm so blue, and then it turns blue.
Yep, that's exactly what you could do with it. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You could just turn off the lights and then just scream "Lives Matter."
Fuck's sake. But yeah, no, I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna just keep it simple. I'm just gonna let the comedy speak for itself. I'm not gonna involve light shows quite yet. But you could, like, if anyone was to do it, it'd be me.
It'd be amazing if you actually followed like proper light show, proper intro music and intro video, which I'm sure you thought about quite a bit, but you were only doing like an open spot, like you're only doing like 5 minutes.
I had this. Do you remember when Colin first did the SSE and he did like that fucking cool promo video where it was like black and white going through the SSE with that cool music?
Yeah.
I said to Shane, I was like, I'd love to like book the black box and just make the exact same video. Just like the green room. Yeah. Just all fucking cool as fuck. Just like, 40 people.
Yeah, just you with like a big fur coat, like fucking tunes pumped from your car, and then you're like, cheers Vittorio for having me in your garden. Happy days.
Oh fuck yeah, you have to laugh at these sort of things, but sure. Good crack.
So you're actually back doing some stand-up now, because when we went for coffee and I was like, see about doing the Hatfield, had you done anything at that point?
No. At that point I did nothing, because yes, thank you very much. If it wasn't for you, I would not have did those two terrible gigs. Those two atrocious gigs I owe all to you.
I suppose for the Hatfield, it's hard to do a light show behind that screen, so that wasn't your fault. That was stage setup, you know what I mean? But you're a fan of that screen, aren't you? You love it so much. Such a fan.
I loved it. It really protected me from fucking all the disease in the room, so it did, for fuck's sake. I felt so healthy just talking to myself in front of the fucking Perspex screen. I think I'd rather get fucking, it hurt my fucking mental health more than it helped my physical health. Just looking into the abyss, being like, chicken pulse for Sheila.
It was like visiting family in prison, wasn't it? You almost felt like you had like a wee phone. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was in the Hatfield, so people were trying to slip me drugs under it too, just being like, fucking take a bit of that. So me and you were meant to do Vittorio's gig, and then it got rained off.
Yeah.
And so we went for a lovely little tea/coffee in the Clayton. I had about 40 sugar cubes.
Yeah.
And you didn't, and then you suggested that I message our good friend Mick to get a spot at Hatfield. So I did the Hatfield twice, and fuck, I was so ropey. It was so fucking like the gigs were grand, like, but I just couldn't get into them. And then I did Vittorio's back garden gig that Saturday too. Again, it was just all right, like, but then I did another one at the Hatfield for Darren Matthews a week later, and that was great. That was like the first one I did where I was like, we're back on form.
Yeah.
And then I did support for Shane in the Limelight on Friday. I did 2 shows there, and typical, like, you do an early and late show, and it always happens where, like, you always do better in one of the shows. You never have, like, just consistency across the board. So I had a great set in the early show, but then I got the late show filmed, which just made me very sad.
Really? Because I know I met McCann briefly, was it last week? And he had said the same about Colin's shows, where he's like, the first show was brilliant. And then the second show, everybody's like too blocked. Do you know what I mean? So he felt like it was
Yeah.
just maybe slightly too late or something, but he equated the second show to being harder, definitely.
It's a strange dynamic with any of that. So when you do a setup when it's like there's an early show and a late show, like it's hard to predict which one is going to be the better show because they both have pros and cons. Like an early show, like yes, you have a more attentive audience, but you've also got a bit more of a tight audience because they're not as loose and relaxed and they're a little bit more tense and whatever else. And it's early in the day. But when you've got that late audience, they're a little bit more warmed up. They're a little bit more up for a laugh. They're a little bit more cheeky. Maybe if you like that sort of interaction element to stand up, it's pretty good. But
Yeah.
they can also be a little bit more wild. So it's like the yin and the yang for both, and there is no real. It's more what do you depend? Do you depend a little bit of rambunctiousness, or do you like when the audience are just more sort of attentive and silent?
Yeah. I think like there's
So,
definitely something I noticed. I haven't been to any of the Limelight shows, but in terms of the half field, there's a similar vibe in that because there needs to be food.
yeah.
It's hard for the gigs to really run to a tight schedule because the food's either late or people are still being served. So you can't really, like I found at the half field, I was there really early and they're like, well, we can't really start the show until everybody's finished. You know what I mean? So you get people that,
Right.
I think it's like an hour and a half window before the gig's supposed to start in the half field before, so let people
Yeah.
get fed. But what happens if you come in an hour and 25 minutes and order 2 burgers and 2 fries and 2 pints? You kind of have to wait till the stragglers have eaten. And I know in the Limelight, I mean, they're just getting takeaway pizza, but it's still kind of hard to stick to a schedule, I feel, for that.
Yeah, and it's more like they're dictated by when does the pizza arrive. So does the pizza and the show has to start at like, well, I think for Shane anyway, it had to start before 7:30 anyway. So, if the pizza comes at like 6:45, that's great because they can dish it out and we can be on stage at 7:15. Everyone's just finished it. But then
Yeah.
opposite of that, if the pizza doesn't get there till 7:15, and sure they're bringing it out as the support's on, really fucks up the flow and things like that. But there's nothing you can do. I suppose it's better in like, I don't know, but like the Hatfield, as you said, it's a bit weird that they had to sit there for like an hour and a half and then the comedy happened. It almost feels like that's too long. At least with the Limelight, they were straight in, get your seats, get your drinks, get your pizza, and away you're off to the races. Like there was no big wait.
Yeah, I think it was. If I could be wrong about the half field, but it was long enough. But as I say, I suppose it is again. It doesn't matter how long it is because I say if you get people last minute, which there's always going to be, that's when it's sort of But so I take it you can't actually start the gig until food is on the premises. So in case of the Limelight, until the pizzas arrive, can they start if it's not there legally? If the food's not in the building, do you know what I mean?
I mean, I think I'm not too sure. Like, I would say they probably made sure everything was, as safe as they possibly could be and whatever else. And, like, from every one of the Limelight shows I've been to, like, the pizza was out before the comedians. That was just they must have just had it timed that way. So there was never that issue. But I doubt the police or anyone is really, like, keeping a timer on going, like, look, if you don't serve pizza within 5 minutes of someone being on stage, we're coming for you. So, but they, you know what I mean? I don't think it was that bad, but they were never fucking. And it was never. I mean, it's bullshit. At the end of the day, it's not like pizza creates an immunity for coronavirus. Like,
true. It must be hilarious if you think there was cops out there that were properly vigilant about the food thing. So they're coming in, acting aggressive, dipping their truncheon in the garlic dip and just being like, what time did this fucking arrive? And then they find out, oh, because you were in the Limelight, making sure that there was margaritas to a couple of lads from Ardoyne, you missed out on like 2 junkies that drop kicked each other off the side of the West Link or some shit.
Yeah. You missed a real good stabbing and things like that. Yeah, I mean, that always intrigues me. Like, how do the police decide where to spend their time and like send their resources to? You know what I mean? Like, do they? Like, it always interests me whenever like cops are looking for people speeding, right? Because it's like, what areas do you put them in? How long do they stay there for? Like, do they have to stay there till they catch someone? Like, what? And then like even that likes of fucking the COVID stuff where it's like, do you assign like 2 police officers to Tesco's on a Tuesday at 2:00? Like, what's the justification behind it all?
Yeah, because I wonder. Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of coronavirus and trying to avoid it at the minute is social distancing. So it would be quite contradictory if they sent 50 policemen to the Tesco on Dublin Road to ensure that everybody's social distancing. It was kind of contradictory. Fuck knows, man. But I would just love an angry policeman to be like, if the pizza's not here, you aren't hearing any fucking jokes anytime soon. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, or we're like waiting side stage for the pizza delivery, and as soon as like one person has we have to wait on one person biting into a pizza, and then we're allowed to go. We're just all like, come on.
Is this gluten-free crust, is it? Is it? I can't even. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm celiac. Hi celiac, nice to meet you.
I'm a Pisces.
But there was I had a friend tell me who lived up in Carrick that last week the police went into the Tesco's and booted 2 people out that weren't wearing masks.
Jesus Christ.
Which I just find that funny.
But I mean, you don't have to wear a mask, you know, if you've got like respiratory issues or something, don't you not? So did these policemen check to see if there was yeah. I don't know.
I mean, no one really cares about a card saying I have bad lungs.
Unless you're Jordy Robb.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't need a card. His physical appearance does that for him.
I'm glad this is going up in public forums, by the way, because we've just slagged Jordy Robb and Sean Haggerty.
Oh, I mean, well, we haven't really slagged him. We're not saying anything that isn't true, boys. You know what I mean? I think Jordan would be the first one to put his hand up and go, I'm not an athlete.
I was just thinking there, wouldn't it be great if there was gigs that came back and the only stipulation was that you had to bring your own food or order food to the venue? And wouldn't it be great if you were in the middle of the set and then just some guy lands on with a white bag tied and be like, chicken balls for Sheila? And you'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake.
You took a fucking punchline.
Sake. Some guy comes in selling Jerry Adams' cookbook. I'm like, you dirty bastard.
Some guy comes in with sake, and you go for fuck's sake. Imagine fucking bringing wee lunch boxes. No, I mean, to be fair, to rip into another comedian, Paddy McGahey would always be keen to bring some food to a gig as well. So, you know what I mean? I'd say the audience would have about 100 duck wraps in their running.
I can't remember. Did you tell the story of Paddy McGahey when you were last on this? I can't remember if you did.
Was it about him being sick?
About the eating in the back of the car?
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember if I told it here. I just told it to you in person. But either way, it's a funny story where we're driving up on the way to the gig. And like the way to the gig, everything was all good. And then we get like, Paddy starts eating a duck wrap from Marks and Spencer's. And then about 10 minutes later says he's sick because the car's driving fast. And I was like, is it because the car's driving fast? Or is it because you just had 2 Duck Hosian wraps from Marks and Spencer's in the space of 2 minutes, Paddy?
Duck Hosian? Is that Saddam's wee brother, is it?
Is
that what they say when you're like mentally ill prostitute and you get cleared? Hossein. That Hossein. She's so sane, baby girl.
Oh, fuck's sake. But yeah, either fun times with all the stories, eh? But yeah, gigs are starting back again and it's all good and fucking sure.
It is what it is, which is a phrase that should be banned because that's like the default. It was same with Brexit. And I say it is what it is, and you're like, yeah, obviously. It's hardly going to be what it's not.
Yeah, it's not what's not. Yeah, you don't hear anyone going that, like, do you? Have you haven't been doing too much gigs, have you? If you did the odd few, maybe.
I've done 3. I did Colin's office gig, which was ropey. Mm-hmm. Then the Hatfield for me was great, and then Vittorio's Garden there on last Thursday. Yeah, and
that was the
great.
Last one of that.
Yeah, because he went back to London there on Sunday, so that was the last.
Oh, is he away back to London?
Yeah, but he was saying it was probably good enough timing in terms of like the weather and stuff as well. It did get very chilly. Nobody, like the crowd were still great, but it was cold, like. But hopefully he brings it back. I mean, you know, even like next summer, if you get a couple of days good weather, you wouldn't need to really have a lot of advance. If you had 2 days advance and be like, we're doing this gig, come on down, fuck, it would probably still sell out all right, like.
I'd say so, because in the summertime too, like people love doing that whole staying out a wee bit during the evening and like being outside and stuff like that. So I think it lends itself well to when like for the few months in this country where the weather is not too bad, like to do that. So I would love, like, it inspired me to think about doing one in my garden, but I wouldn't do it. I don't think I would do like a comedy club. I would only do it as like a one-off, and if like say for example I wanted to like film an hour of stand-up and do something that was like a bit different, so I would, because like the setup we have here is like genuinely we have so much space here. It looks so photogenic, my garden. Like the big bar and stuff has like a stage you could, and it's well lit and stuff like that, so you could really make something very, very cool and different for like a special or whatever. But yeah, that's something to think about for maybe the future. Just
Yeah, I think that'd be cool, but I think that's
mm,
just the thing now, is trying to find alternative ways of doing it. And I think there's going to be some bollocks ideas.
yeah.
There's going to be some good ones. You know what I mean? Like drive-throughs or whatever. But gardens seem to work, and outdoor pubs. But it's approaching Christmas, for fuck's sake. So let's face it, it's
That's
not going to be
yeah.
feasible.
This is what I said, and they were talking about, well, you would need to get like a tent and like heated lamps and stuff like that, and if you were to do like outdoor, but then like fucking that costs money too. People, you know what I mean? That isn't exactly cheap. Like fucking, I think we were talking, me, Shane, and Mark McCartney last week, and McCartney was like, why don't we just like go to a park somewhere, like a real cool park or whatever, set up like chairs and flipping whatever, and then just announce like a gig 2 days before, and then just give it in blah blah blah, and like that would be class. But you would need like good sound system, good flipping, you know, like everything, and like you'd probably have to run it by a council of some kind. Like it wouldn't be as easy as you would love it to be. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like fucking, we're still in early days and trying to figure this all out for the stand-up side of things. Even the likes of, I mean, you have to give credit to the Limelight. They're doing a really good job, and credit to all the boys who sold shows, Colin and Shane and whatever else. But there's it's just fucking, it's less maybe about that, more about thinking about places like open mics, like flipping, you know, the Pav, and places around the country like Nuri, the McCurry's gig, and like all the other gigs that just maybe will not come back for a long time. It makes it very difficult for me anyway. I know other people are fucking better than me and can do it better than me, but like for me it's difficult to work in new material, because you need like a safe space where, you know, it's like, you know, this gig, you know, it's a good gig and stuff, but I'm not worried about sort of having a few misses here. But like, for example, if I'm doing support for Shane, like I want to make sure like I'm hitting, you know, as best as possible. And even so, like, even like gigs that we're doing and stuff, it's like, fuck, we're only getting so many of these, and do you really want to waste it on trying a bunch of new stuff that you'll fucking might die on your hole with? Like, because there's so little gigs, you don't want to die on your hole as much now, because it's like, fuck, when's the next time I'm going to get up and redeem myself?
Yeah, I mean, if you're churning out new stuff and it's not going well, you know, bookers, the few and far between of them, won't be really inclined to sort of have you on. You know, you might need to stick to your sort of golden 10 or 20 for the foreseeable. But I see what you're saying. It's going to be a very weird landscape too, in that, from what you were saying there, I mean, somewhere like Lavery's or wherever that was doing really well, to have such a big gap in not running. You know, usually that's a kiss of death for even the best clubs. If you don't have that consistency, people don't always flock back to it. I don't know, maybe not the case with Lavery's, but for other places that were building up a following, coronavirus or not, the lack of momentum, it's completely gone. So people might not be as inclined to give a shit. You know what I mean? It's sad to say, but
yeah, it's more, yeah, it's look, it's shit on all accounts, but I think I can speak for us both in saying we are just both very elated, if anything, that we're getting to do spots this year, because fucking, you know, albeit they're few and far between, but even something is better than nothing, you know. And there's people out there who have lost a hell of a lot more money than the likes of you and me and things like that when it comes to gigging. But it's just doing your best to get as much stage time as you can these times. Like,
yeah, I'm just happy that the Galgorm's open. So
oh yeah, that's the important thing. When are you off to? Is it next month?
This day next week.
Oh baby, and many days are you going for?
Three nights away. And then they're hosting the open and stuff. So there was a couple of changes to our booking, they kind of rang us and said because of the open, they've had to change like certain aspects of the hotel. So they were like, would you mind, instead of, we had like a superior king room or some shit, they were like, would you mind actually going to a cottage instead, like your own private cottage, the cottage on the ground? But so they were like, we can, not give you the cottage like the usual higher rate. So we ended up saving like £200 because of the changes. They were like, if you can move to a cottage and then for whatever reason, one of the rooms isn't available, I think it's like whatever it's called. So they were like, the afternoon tea that we had booked on the Tuesday, they were like, we can't do that anymore, but everything else is going to stay the same and you're in a cottage. And I think usually as well, they said for a cottage, you don't actually have the full range of the thermal village. You only have like a limited couple of hours for some reason in the cottage, but they were like, since we've somewhat inconvenienced you, you still get the same, 24, not 24-hour, but full access to thermal village, and you get your own cottage and stuff now. So it actually worked out all right, because when they rang me, I had a missed call and it was just a Ballymena number, and I was like, if this is the front page, look at me to do a gig. I'm not doing
it. Do you know what's funny? That's the last gig we did together. Isn't that crazy?
Is that the last time we were on stage? Serious? So that was
the last gig we've done together. Is the front page in Ballymena in February.
Yeah, that was the very tail end of February, man, because it was, I went out the night after because I was celebrating my birthday, but I think my birthday was the Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
the
I Tuesday,
remember
and then I went to Prague.
Yeah. And I remember doing like funny little coronavirus jokes, thinking this will be great crack, and then a month later, wasn't so great crack.
Yeah, like we did that gig for the famous Paddy McGahey, and you did some really good coronavirus material, and I think at one point they actually spat out at Hoisin rap. So happy days.
He did, yeah. But do you remember that wee room? And so the next time we're on again this Wednesday now for the first time since February.
Yeah, it's like me, you, Mickey, Dave, Willie T. Is Shane doing it as well?
He is, yeah. He just wasn't allowed to announce it publicly because of his limelight shows, but he will be partaking in the event.
Is he headlining?
I have no clue what the setup is. I mean, Noah and Dave will all show up and Dave will just go, where do you want to go?
Yeah, I find that Dave will just be like, I'm going to do 5 minutes, and then, you know what I mean?
They'll be like, I'm just going to do 2 minutes. We're not emceeing. Just everyone bring each other on. Like, I'm leaving at halftime.
I think that's going to be, I think it'll be like the relay thing.
Well, I think I suggested it to him because I think it's better when you have so many people on. Like, I think when you have like 6 people on, it's dead or more. Like, just do that, because see emceeing in between, and it's pain in the hole for whoever's emceeing, you know.
True. I mean, that's the way Vittorio did it. I don't know, did Vittorio have MC when you did his garden? Was it like
he emceed it, but he didn't do too much in between. It was more just
we just did like a relay. But I suppose maybe that's something we're going to have to get used to, because I assume there's curfews and stuff for even events now, even if they are outside. I assume they can't be too long and stuff. So
yeah, because people can only stay in a certain area for the amount of time. Like even in the limelight and stuff, like people had to be out pretty quickly whenever the gig was over. So it's more. It's just probably. But to be honest, I kind of like that a little bit, because it means gigs have to be tight, and they can't just like you go to a place in the middle of nowhere and they're like, oh, we're going to start at 8 and it's 10 o'clock, and you're like, oh, we're starting yet? Yeah. Like there's none of that anymore, which is good.
Yeah. Oh, even like particularly with the limelight, those like big gigs we did, like for charity, or like even when I opened for Colin there a few times, and it's like the sheer amount of people at the bar, and they're just going, well, we can't kick off yet because there's still more than enough people at the bar. Then the interval, fucking same story again. So you're just like, Jesus Christ. And you're like, you have to be out of here for 10 because one of the Chuckle Brothers is doing a DJ set. And you're like, all right. Gina G's doing a DJ set here. Gina, Kenny, and the other, and Warren G. That's the G family of music.
Oh, yeah. That's their G unit, I think they go back.
The 3G tour hitting the 3 Arena next year.
Yeah, Conspiracy, is the name of it. So it's kind of nice. There are some good aspects, but then, it's just, we're all just fucking just winging it and seeing what happens at this point. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you just have to grin and bear it. You know what I mean? Like I was saying to Jordy Robb, like before this, I was like, you know, the amount of people that are complaining about having to wear a mask. You know, certain shops are only allowing a certain amount of people in at a time. Like I seen people in M&S during the week. They're only allowed 2 people in their wee drink section. You know, in the food part, there's like a drink section at the back, and they have like a wee. You're only allowed 2 people in, and the people were fucked off. And then I must just thinking like for Jordy Robb, he must go. I just had major surgery, and I'm not complaining about fuck all, but you're going mad that there's not any fucking gin fizz.
You have to give credit to Jordan. Like any other person would just rest. Like Jordan's like, no, I want to go out and gig and be in the thick of it and, you know, risk my life just to do 10 minutes of stand up. So you got to applaud. You got to applaud the kid for his sheer bravery, or maybe called stupidity. I don't know. Just to fucking brass neck it and go, yeah, fuck it, I'll die anyway. You know, may as well do a gig.
And to be fair, I mean, like there is comedians out there that would pull out of a gig because they were like feeling run down or unsettled.
Oh yeah,
like, including us.
Oh, we're top of the list. Yeah, like, if the conditions aren't perfect, I'm not there.
Yeah, if it can't cope with your extensive light show.
Yeah, if it's 1 degree too cold, I can't perform.
Yeah, if it's in the front page, not happening. He's got tennis elbow. He can't do it. That has to be still one of the weirdest gigs I've ever done, and in all the time I've done stand-up, that will sit pretty high in the weird gig list.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think about these things at the time, but when you reflect on it, you go, yeah, there was a lot of strange stuff. I mean, and I did that gig like 2 or 3 times, and each time I've said the same thing where I've been like, yeah, that was very weird, wasn't it? No, to be fair, I mean, the first 2 times I did it weren't ideal by any means. The 3rd time when I did it with you ended up going quite well, actually, so that was a rarity. But fuck, you know, we'll gig anywhere at this point, like, let's face it.
Yeah, see, that's maybe the good thing about coronavirus is that I miss that gig, even for, you know, in principle. I would do it again.
I miss the Pav.
Yeah, I do miss the Pav. I miss Pugs. I miss Lavery's, like, occasionally doing like Empire, being able to go down to go down to what do you call brickworks and stuff like that. There, just the
brickwork, the
whole fucking travel aspect of it, and
me too. Like in Newry and Oma, Dailies, and all that, like fucking all the places, because we all have all sorts of memories made and associated with them, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you like this is my stand-up book I write in. Do you recognize the reference?
Yeah. Oh,
Back to the Future. Yep, Saw 2. Yeah, that's where he does it on his neck. But yeah, this is what I write in. Do you like that?
I do. I'm enjoying the wee subtle reference there. Are you a big fan of that trilogy? Because you brought it up twice now.
I am. Yeah, I'm on a bit of a Back to the Future kick at the minute.
Yeah. Well, it's not much of a kick. There's 3 films, so once you do the 3, you're kind of done.
But there's video games too, you know what I mean?
Is there,
and there's one for the Sega, and there's one for the Super Nintendo, and there's one. And that's it. That's all there is. Actually, there's 2 video games. There's not. You're right. It's just a kick.
Yeah,
it's not much of a kick.
You see, the Northern Ireland ability to just mispronounce something, even accidentally or deliberately, makes me laugh. Thinking about Ballymena, I don't know if I ever tell you this. Do a gig in the Braid in Ballymena for Paddy, Hosey and McGahey, and Hosey's like, you know, when you pull that big bit of cord from your house and wash the car, you know, and get the Hosey, and like, did the Braid. It was me, Mickey Bartlett, Jerry McBride in the smaller Braid room, you know, the tiered seating, class wee gig.
Yep.
And Mickey was driving me back, and he was like, well, we could call to the shop here and just get fucking something to eat. And it was the post-gig hunger, which is incredible, by the way. So we go in, and I got a bottle of Coke and, like, you know, the plastic triangle sandwiches. Got some of that there. I didn't realize that was 2/3 of a meal deal. Didn't realize. Had no fucking idea. Mickey didn't realize. And instead of a normal person behind the till just going, see if you get a bag of crisps, that'll be £3. You get a bag of Doritos, £3 for the lot, instead of, because you would pay about £4 just for those 2. Hence why it's called a meal deal, right?
Deals. Yep.
But instead of that, brought them up to the till, and she looked astounded that I didn't realize that there was a deal. And she was like, "You forgot your Doritos." With the Doritos. It's Doritos. It's not Spanish and feminine, you fucking arsehole. You forgot your Doritos.
Fucking, I mean, like anywhere else in the country, I wouldn't believe you, but Ballymena, yeah, that happens on a regular basis, I would say.
Yeah. I don't know if she was blocked or she was on something. The best thing, I overheard a guy in the off license opposite my old work, and he was that drunk, and he's already ordering drink, goes in full, and he's like, "Can I get a quarter bottle of Buckfast and a quarter bottle of ice?" Gets a quarter bottle of ice out, is he? Fill up a tumbler.
Yeah, just fucking get me circles in there or something. I don't know. I fucking. It's not mad times, would say it's mad times.
Yeah. If only we had our like DeLorean and we can go back to when that guy was eating the bat soup and just knock the fuck out of him, and then do a wee open mic gig and host in Vietnam, and then
that's the plot to Back to the Future 4, so it is. Just Marty McFly, who does sound like he's from West Belfast when you break it down.
Oh, for sure, Marty McFly bastard. Oh, Jesus.
Right enough, I think I've heard you say that before.
He hangs about with some oil cunt, doesn't he?
I fucking duck.
Yeah. You call me chicken cunt. What do you call your man? Hit the biff. There you go.
Biff. Oh, fucking hell. Do you have any like classic movies like that you're really into, like cult ones like Ghostbusters or like Ace Ventura? What's that? Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah, love it. I love it. Generally most of the 80s stuff sits well on me. So like Trading Places, Come to America, The Warriors, Breakfast Club, Blade Runner, stuff like that there, and Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York, and this will be a long podcast if I just keep naming all the films I like, but should we crack on? The Blues Brothers. I like
my favorite thing about 80s movies is when they have a phone that's really big. So like when they like a mobile and it's like working big antenna up to here and stuff. If I see that in any 80s movie, I'm happy. Anything could happen in it, I'm happy enough. You know what I mean? It could be shite, but if they whip out that big fucking chunky phone, I'm good.
Particularly like the early version of that chunky phone that was like attached to like a big box, because I think is it Lethal Weapon? I have a feeling you see Gibson with a big fucking mad mullet, and he's got this like an amp. It's about the size of an amp basically, and just going so he can ring fucking 4-star pizza, whatever the fuck he does. I haven't seen that film in a while.
How did pizzas take deliveries back then?
Back when Mel Gibson had a hairdo like that.
Yeah, I mean, must just be like house phones.
Yes, Aaron.
Look, we have to ask these questions and think about these things, okay? Oh man, like when you think now, everything's so easy.
Yeah. Do you remember house phones? They used to be on the wall. You used to have like a wee clip. You would hang it up on the wall, and you used to think fancy as fuck, or it's on the wall.
Yeah. Oh, and then it would always fall.
Oh, 100%.
Like the wee fucking, it hit the ground, shit, bish everywhere. You're like, oh, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Can I get a quarter bottle of ice?
Do you remember whenever phones first like stopped having a cord on them, and your man would get like one of the, and you're fucking, you'd be like, oh shit, fucking, you know what I mean? It's like next level. Right? It's kids these days don't know the fucking perils we went through. It was like living in Hamilton times.
So even like the earliest mobiles were fucking sturdy but dog shit. Like do you remember your first phone ever? Do you remember like make and all that shit?
Yeah, Blue Razor. Remember those?
Motorola,
yeah. Hello, that was my first one. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, very nice phone.
Yes, do you know what? I wonder if you can buy one today. Still no, like as a
here.
Like, let me go. I'm googling this now because I don't know why I would buy one. Motorola Razor. Was it called a Razor? Blue?
Yeah, but it was RAZR because it was swag. I think Razor was the name of a guy in Blazing Squad
It's
too.
giving me like new looking ones. It was the name of what? A
Razor
Blazing
was
Squad
like,
member?
yeah, I think it was, or Blazer or
I
Taser or
mean,
something.
there that might be the film Dodgeball. I mean, there was a fucking million people in Blazing Squad. I think I was in it at one point, but I can't remember. But there. Oh, I found it. So it's called Motorola Talkabout. It was the name. Fucking hell.
Fuck, that's old school.
Yeah. You can buy it on eBay for 15 quid. Well, I just buy it.
If we can think of a sketch we can do that involves it, I'll buy one too. For sure.
Just boys and old phones. That's all. And we just yeah, we could just maybe call it like a mobile phone conversation in 2001 or something, and like. Yeah. But we just keep referencing niche things that happened in 2001, like movies that came out and events that happened and like all sorts of stuff. That's I'm writing that down. That's an idea.
Do you remember having to get a top up?
Oh.
Do you remember that?
Oh.
Madness.
Horrible. You had to go into a shop and it was real weird.
Yeah. Were you a top up voucher or a top up card guy?
I was a card guy all the way, I would say.
Yeah, I was vouchers because I couldn't figure out the card. I had the wee Nokia, I can't remember the number, but it was like the old school Nokia, and it was like pretty much like navy blue, but the sides were orange. I don't know if you remember that.
It wasn't the one with Snake, was it?
What, sorry?
Was it the one with Snake?
I think they all had Snake. It had Snake and then that Space Invaders fucking shite as well.
Nokia. Oh, yeah. I mean, the classic is the 3310.
Yeah, mine's is a bit of a, like maybe 2 or 3 after that, I want to say.
The 3330.
Yeah.
If there's such a thing.
Was that, how did they land on 3310 as the very first one? Like, that's a very random number.
Yeah, it's very specific. I don't know, it must have some sort of nerdy bullshit they probably figured out. But yeah. It's fucking old phones. Like, it's mad to think we have just everything so easy now.
Yeah, like you can literally buy anything on your like right now. If you want to buy a drill right now. You could do it.
Or Google Maps if you want to, fucking find out where. So, like, imagine how shit it would have been without Google Maps, like trying to find somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
I'd kill myself. I'd be away.
Like, oh well, that's extreme. Like, many people were like late for a job interview because they were like, mate, fucking in the middle of Portadown, somewhere in the countryside, some sort of factory. They're like, fucking, they're like, I couldn't find your place. It's not on the map.
Can you imagine Christmas shopping without internet?
Yeah, like you wouldn't fucking, you'd have to actually like get to know people and like. Fucking find out what gifts they really want and stuff like that. Like, but then again, it's sport a wee bit because like me and my mum have this thing where like I'll just email her like a Christmas list, and I feel like that takes away some of the charm because it's like it's literally just me ordering, but indirectly through her with her money.
It's that whole aspect is definitely gone now. Whereas like. It's even dumber for like somewhere like me and Lisa where we decide on a budget. For sure, say we go like, oh, it's 200 quid, but it's it's our money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, and that's the other thing too. Whenever like like you become so jaded when you're older, but it's like buying someone a birthday card where it's like, here's 50 quid in a card, and then 4 months later they hand you back the same 50 quid in a card, and it's like. What are we doing here? Like, this is just like I'm breaking even every year. So why even go to the effort? Like, let's just like look. We both are friends. We're both family. Happy days. Like, there's no need for us to do this exchange anymore. Happy birthday.
Like, even now, you're breaking even because you've wired somebody the present money. You're like, I didn't even get a card. I just got your account details and sent it.
Yeah, now to be fair, my family's not at that point yet, and I don't think we will get to that point because that's so impersonal. That's like that. I think that's weirder than going and getting money out and handing someone a card.
It definitely is, but you could put it like a nice message in the reference. but it's only like 8 characters, so it's Happy Burr. Happy Burr, sir.
My yeah, I have mates and they have this joke that they always do, and it's such a shitty joke. And it's like whenever they send you money, they go like they put in the reference like Grinder profile money or something like that, and it's like fucking it's the same shit. Like
Oh, that's the frape of 2020. That's like no when you used to frape people and be like, I like big willies in my
do you remember
bumhole.
Frapes? Do you remember Frapes? I forgot about Frapes.
Yeah, I remember saying to my dad, I'd never thought of this till you just said that. I was telling my dad about he was reading an article in the Strabane Chronicle about frapes, and he was like, I didn't even know what the fuck frapes were. He was like, I thought that was like no when you used to get like yogurt in a tube. He was like, that's frubes, you tube.
Oh fuck the other. But yeah, why do people not get fraped anymore? Is because like they don't. Is it because Facebook's on your phone? Like you don't see a good frape these days.
Yeah, it's Me Too. Me Too has ruined it. Me Too.
Oh, has it?
Well, I'd say so. Why? Because all frapes are believable now. So you can't go, oh, I fucking like sniffed a seat after you left, and you're like, well, I've got fucking, I can get the CCTV footage from Costa and see what you did. You know what I mean? You can't be too careful now. Anything that portrays you in even a somewhat negative light can come back to haunt you. I'm scared to get a bad review from like, if someone bought something off me on eBay and I didn't post it right away, and they'd be like, that took a wee while. That was a day later than I was anticipating that fucking bag of Doritos.
But yeah, do you find like even with podcasts and stuff, like things we're saying now, we're fucked in like 10 years.
Oh yeah.
Like I've already accepted, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just advantageous that nobody listens to this, so I'm grand.
The 12 Patreon.
My lack of success is going to be my success later in life.
Strong point. Yeah. It's going to be what benefits you in the long run. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You just gotta be careful, don't you? But that's a good frape.
You just don't like. You see the very odd one, but it's not even like a frape anymore. It's like, oh, Angelina, you left your laptop open, and like they change her profile picture to just her snogging the dick or whatever it is.
Well, that took a real turn, so it did. You don't really. I'm just trying to like. I remember the equivalent. I remember when we were in like secondary school was. Did you ever turn like boys' bags inside out? And that's not a euphemism for something else.
Like what? Aaron? Like what?
Yeah. But you remember, like I remember when we were in school, like the big thing was like if you could, like someone was away to the toilet or something, you get straight into their school bag, turn it inside out, zip it up, and then just leave it there, and they wouldn't find it until like the bell rang, and then they'd go to pick it up, and they'd go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And that we would find that hysterical.
Yeah, we did that as well. We also did this thing. It required being very sort of like a sleuth or being very sort of sneaky. Whereas you would say you were chatting to your mate, someone would come up like behind you, and they would have like wee pairs of scissors and cut up the seams of your trousers. So it looked like you're wearing
that's vicious.
Yeah, that's like you're walking around wearing like big mad flares, man.
Oh no, fuck! We didn't do that. I thought my school was rough. You're a fucking hooligan.
Yeah, here. Look how well I turned out.
Oh yeah, big lesbo.
I'm doing rightly. I use Mitchum deodorant. I'm doing all right for myself.
What's Mitchum deodorant?
It's just a very decent make of deodorant, basically.
Oh, is it? I have like allergies, so I have to use like the stick, the old I think it's Dove, like and yeah.
Like a roll on.
Yeah, I have to use it's like it's basically a stick of deodorant and fucking yeah, it's I used to funny, it reminds me whenever I was like in school, I used to do this thing, and I'm sure I'm gonna get me too'd for this, even though I went to an all boys school. But when we were in the when we were in the showers, there used to be this kid in my class called Anto, and Anto fucking like, he was one of those guys, he would do like anything for money. So like I said to him, if I pay you 50p, will you swallow like a bit of soap or whatever? And fucking like I paid him 50p, and he like just took a big chunk of soap and just ate it. And I was like, well, there you go.
shite and
But
bubbles the
like,
rest of his life.
but I like to think even to this day I could still like call upon Abdo and be like, mate, do you want to make some money? I've got a wee fucking bottle of Head and Shoulders here. What are you gonna do?
Original source, get it in you.
Mint.
What is your what allergies do you have that you have to use a roll on? How does that work?
Like a dust allergy. I have a small dust allergy, so fucking apparently, like whenever I used to spray the fucking the antiperspirant or whatever, it would fucking flare up my nostrils and shit like that. So you have to use a very fucking specific Dove deodorant, which is why I probably smell like shit all the time.
So you're alright with big dust, with small dust is no go?
No, oh yeah, like if you have like a cloud of dust, maybe like some sort of, you know, like dust ball, like a cat ball or something like that, it's all good. But if it's like fucking tiny, like it's a no go for me. Thanks.
So can you still use a smoke machine when you're doing the boneyard on Wednesday?
Oh, I fully, you know, I intend on it. Yeah, you know what I mean. I insist on it, if anything, just for my stage entrance. You know what I mean. I like to blind the people before they see me, just so if my set's shite, at least I can't see who's delivered it for the first fucking joke or whatever. But are you gonna? Have you sort of got an idea in your head of what you're going to do on Wednesday, or are you just gonna sort of see how it plays out?
I'm going to stick to the material I've done in the half field and Vittorio's, but I don't actually know how long I'm supposed to be doing or anything, so I'll just wait.
10 minutes, I think.
I think it's about 10.
I think everyone's doing like 10 to 12 or something each, I think.
Yeah, that's grand. I'll probably do just some quick bits, and then Jerry Adams' cookbook has returned with a vengeance. Oh, I have a couple of new lines. So
what? Oh yeah, Coke. One of my. Well, I remember. Think you were when you first started doing Jerry Ann's cookbook. I was there, like recording a gig or something for Colin, and when I seen it, I was like, "Holy fuck, that's a great bit!" Like it was one of those ones where I was like, "That's the sort of bit I wish I wrote." Like I specifically remember seeing. I remember cursing, going, "Fuck's sake, Woodsy." Like fucking, because it was just there was no way I could do better than what you put on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I just got lucky that I've like landed on that. But I think that's like a good indication of your bits is when other comedians are like, "Fuck, I wish I." And I don't have a lot of those bits, but I've heard from other people, you know, that they would love to have done the Facebook pose bit. That was one of those ones. When I first did it, everybody was like, "I can't believe I didn't see the bit in that." Do you know what I mean? But I've been on the other side where I'm like, "Fuck." Most of the times when I watch Mickey, I'm just like, "Ah, bollocks! I didn't even fucking see that." Do you know what I mean? But that's what keeps you sharp.
Yeah, true. Or even if there's sometimes where you just see someone just come out of something with nowhere, and they might only have like one solid bit, but you see it and you go, "Holy fuck, that's like so genius." You know what I mean? It just depends. There's some new stuff I've been writing, and I'm tempted to do it, but it's not developed enough yet to where I can like do it on stage. But basically, my aunt has like got a new dog, and I like going to her house. The whole protocol revolves around making sure this dog is happy. So it's like, make sure when you come over, don't go through the front door, come through the back door, because Pebbles will get really upset if you come through the front. And it's like, is Pebbles paying the fucking mortgage on the house now? We're fucking and then it's like you go in the living room and it's like, don't sit in that seat because Pebbles will start barking if you sit in that seat. It's like, all right, well, I'll just stand in your living room then, sure, fucking, you know what I mean? Because Pebbles will be happy if I do it. Yeah. And then it's fucking, she goes like, if you go to eat something, it's like, make sure Pebbles has a slice of ham before you eat anything, because she'll start to really bark. And it's like, it's getting to the point where I'm going, where do we draw the line here? Like, do I have to like ask permission to be like, can I go to the toilet, or does Pebbles want my kidneys to explode? Like fucking, like what am I allowed to do that Pebbles is fucking like dictating my fucking entire life around this dog?
Because two things, I'm wondering, is it going to be like, make sure you take off your shoes when you come in the house because Pebbles doesn't like it? But what I'm thinking there, from my point of view, is she's a cunt and she won't own up to it, and she's acting free Pebbles. So per Pebbles is going, you pish when you want. I don't give a fuck. I'm not hungry, but you eat away. But she's using Pebbles as like her cunt retractor.
Yeah, to try like jump through some loops. Yeah. Then I had another thought about people who want to save like endangered animals. Like, why? You know, like, because here's the thing: have you ever once looked back and thought, it's a shame there's no more dodo birds?
Because I'm starving.
Like fucking God bless it that we don't have any more of those anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like
if a white rhino disappears, what happens? Like
the black ones are delighted.
this is our moment.
Yeah, this is my perfect.
Or like you know when people are like, "Oh, we don't want the lions to go away." Why? Like fucking what the lions do?
They don't feel the same about us. They'd happily eat all of us and be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, you know what I mean. I understand like why people are like, "Oh, don't let the bees die and stuff," because fucking pollen and crops and fruits and stuff like that. Fucking, you know, like, hey, behave. But yeah, but I never got that whole save the endangered species thing. Now, am I going to get a lot of animal rights activists coming at me on this podcast? Yes.
Yeah, I think like
and that's okay.
In terms of that, one thing that I always thought about animals was how many more. I was thinking about this because everyone who wants to social distance now has probably subconsciously practiced it. They just don't realize, because when you're walking through Belfast city centre and you see people in like high-vis jackets with clipboards, they're always looking you to sign up to someone, so you have to like physically dodge them. So that's like social distancing. But I was like, how many obscure animals with obscure diseases are they trying to save, where it's like we're collecting for alpacas with Down syndrome or something?
I had a bit that I was trying to work in about alpacas, but it was like, do you ever see? It started off about like holidays and like, do you know why like when we go on holidays, we go to like fucking, you know, New York or Disney World, or, you know, we go to like Spain or some water park. And I was thinking, how shit what must it be if you're like a foreigner kid and your holiday is to Ireland, and they're like, what? And you go back and they're like, where'd you go on holidays? And they're like, I went to Ireland and we went to Tato Park. And they're like, oh, class. Was there roller coaster? Was there roller coasters? And they're like, no, but we did walk a fucking herd of alpacas up and down a field. And then I was sort of like thinking, what sort of fucking animal is an alpaca? Like, it's not quite a goat. It's not quite a giraffe. It's like fucking, it's like something that like, it's like when God was making it, he was like, I want to make something that looks like a tumor.
Yeah, it's a gender fluid llama is what it is. I'm just thinking what you were saying
it's
there.
The most fucking it's the most pointless animal.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I like that premise of, you know, when people from, say, Spain come over here, because really, if you do a week in Northern Ireland, you've got maybe 2, maybe 3 days of legitimate family attractions where you can go to like Giant's Causeway, blah, but you can do a few wee bits. But after that there, it's all about where you're pinting. So I just love the idea of wee Rodrigo from Valencia speaking to his teacher after summer holidays. So she's like, what did you do in Belfast? We went to the Juan Huet. El Duco de Yorco.
Then we finished off in El Tompesens.
We went to Revolucion de Cuba. We went to El Tavern de Blancos.
El Dirty Onion.
El Boggin Oniono.
El Fifi Oniono. Oh, we went to Dirty McFilfies.
It went to the El Cinco Points.
We ate at Cinco de Nicolai.
Recibo un rimjobo in El Maverico. El
the Gremlins. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell, yeah. Oh, fucking hell, I'm losing. Oh, God, I'm sweating.
Is that the best place to leave it, do you think? We finished strong there.
Yeah, we had a good run there, so we did. I think that was we solved some things there. We did well. Oh,
that's a good spot to finish her up, I think.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight now. Fuck's sake. No, I'm just gonna be thinking all night about fucking little things Rodrigo went and visited.
I'm still thinking of fucking other things.
El Gigante ring.
El Lipo de Todd.
Oh, fucking hell.
El Café Establishto.
Oh, fucking
El Cortero de Catedral.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's.
Oh, tremendous. Anyway, man, I love you and leave you, and I'll see you
Well
on.
done.
I'll see you on Wednesday. Wednesday, but we go
I'll see you on
coffee or something
Wednesday, sir.
beforehand. Will we do a brew?
Yeah, I would love to do that. Give me a shout. Let's do that. Let's do that for sure.
By any chance, are you going to be what do you call it? Filming this gig?
On the GoPro, yeah. Oh yeah.
Would you really film my wee set? Would that be alright? I'll get you
100%.
a lock of sugar cubes and tea bags.
Oh yes, please. That would suffice. Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds good.
Awesome, man. Well, again, thanks very much for coming on, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Sleep well.
A pleasure. Take it easy.
Take it easy. I'm just going to end the actual thing, by the way. Is that cool?
Oh yeah. Do your thing.
Yeah, instead of the fake goodbye. I'll let you get the beauty sleep.
Yep.
Get that original source on the ball bag.
Will do. Aunt will eat it. Will do.
Oh, Sane. Love it. Love it. See you soon, man. Take it easy.
Night.
Night, mate.
All right.
Most delayed thing ever.
No, here. All right.
I'm gonna go, mate. I'm gonna go now. All right, mate.
No. All right. Shoot on, mate. All right. Dead on.
See you on the flip side, mucker. All right.
All right. No, I'll see you later. All right, mate.
Don't let the bed bugs bite. 5G caused COVID.
I won't, mate. Here, get a good sleep, mate. Right?
You sleep well, mate. All right. Get the 8 hours.
No, here. No, 100% will do. Have a good day and stuff. I'm all right.
All right. Raise a glass to freedom.
All right, will do.
Right.
To the two of us. To the two of us.
A bird in the hands, rough two in the bush.
Is right. 100%.
It is what it is. So it is.
It is what it is. You know yourself, sure.
I know myself better than anybody, so I do.
It's all good.
It's all good in the hood.
It is. It's all grand, mate. We're going to go to sleep soon.
It's all gravy.
It is. All right. Well, night.
One love.
No, yeah, respect.
Yeah. All right. Peace out.
Yeah, representing.
Yeah. Increase the peace.
Yep.
If the spuds are in season, you'll make good chips. All right.
That's it. Safe Thatcher.
There's Pinks Aboo.
100%. Gormalgan.
Pardon. See you there, man. Take it easy.
All right.